Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Corey Johnson, and welcome to Relationship Management. Today's topic is going to be about isolation. There are people all over this world that are suffering because they are lonely and they don't have anyone, and they have depression and they are living in despair, and they have been betrayed by their best friends, or their significant other has betrayed them, and even their family members have betrayed them. And lots of people are suffering because their dad betrayed them or their mother betrayed them. So there's people that's living in this world today that can't honestly say that they have a best friend, because usually the mother is supposed to be the best friend, your best friend, But in this world we live in, we have bad mothers up in this world, and lots of us are not fortunate enough to say, hey, I have a best friend. Because every significant other you get yourself involved with look like they have corruption up in their brains or something. All of your life, it looks like you've been going through the exact same thing. You know what I mean? You give someone a chance and you wind up breaking up. And it looked like you've been having breakup ever since you was a teenager, and a lot of people are in their 40s and 50s and don't have anybody. They just decided to stop, because, they've been having difficult relationships, and having people that will start confusion and that will make you, become depressed, and to make you want to have behavior problems, to want to doubt them and not trust them anymore and to let them go or leave them. And if people wouldn't lie to good people, like for instance, I'm a good person, if I didn't have ladies to lie to me and mistreat me, I would still have them if they've been right. But they decided to have a dark heart and a bad soul. They decided to be a persons of wickedness, and to try to sabotage my life, and having bad people that come in your life, they can cause you to develop brain injuries, you understand, to mistreat them. And so that's not your fault that you've hurted them, that's their fault, you understand? And God punished them from being a stupid person. So I'm saying, from doing bad things and provoking you, and from pushing you out in the sea and in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? To do bad things. There's a lot of ladies that will do that. They will push you out in the sea. They'll lie. They will hurt you. They will be vindictive. And they will make you not love them anymore. And they will push you out in all that ocean where there's plenty of fishes in the sea. And then whenever you find somebody else, they got to know to get angry and mad. No, don't get angry and mad at that man you pushed out in the sea. You get angry at yourself for being a stupid person. You see, now we got people all over the world that are suffering, with isolation disorder, and lots of people, they rather just to be alone by themselves. They've had bad luck, they got, companies or people that's racist, they're bigots or bigotry. They have hatred against black people or hatred against Mexicans. Or hatred against Colombians, and there's people that wind up losing their job a lot because they can't stand certain people. That's racism, and there's bigotry, and there's hatred. It look like no matter what, you're always having these type of a bad luck. You know what I mean? You have bad luck with the medical, with doctors, no matter what. We're trying to get lawyers that don't want to represent you because of your race. I mean, it is a whole lot of different things, and then you, at your breaking point, you decide to just isolate yourself from people. You decide to isolate yourself from having any friends, any lovers, you just be home a lot, and you feel like that's the best thing for you, you understand? For you to just be alone and just stay to yourself so you can protect, what's left in your brain and your heart. You see, isolation disorder, also known as social isolation, It refers to the state of prolonged withdrawal from social interactions and relationships. It can be characterized by symptoms are limited social contact and few close relationships, avoidances of social situations and activities, fear of rejection, criticism, or humiliation, feelings of loneliness, isolation, and inadequacy, low self esteem, and poor social skills, difficulty expressing emotions and forming intimate connections. Like the causes can be trauma or adverse experiences, mental health conditions, anxiety, depression, avoidant personality disorder, chronic illness or disability, social or cultural factors, discrimination, cultural isolation, personality traits, shyness, introversions, and the effects that it can increase the risk of mental health problems, which is depression, anxiety, reduced physical health and well-being, cognitive decline, and memory problems. It can cause you to have memory problems, increased risk of loneliness and social isolation, and there are treatments for this. You can go to a mental therapist, we have a psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, interpersonal therapy. You can get medications, they have antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications. They have social skill training. There's support groups, there's lifestyle changes, there's exercise, health, eating, sleep hygiene. You know what I mean? It's important to distinguish between social isolation and temporary withdrawal from social interactions. Occasional solitude can be beneficial, but prolonged isolation can have significant negative consequences. If you or someone is experiencing symptoms of isolation disorder, it's essential to seek professional help. If you're gonna be home a lot, make sure you have something to do. Make sure you have some entertainment. Some people isolate themselves and they don't have no TV, they don't have no music, no nothing, no games to play, no nothing. They just be no books, no nothing. They just be there. As long as you have something to keep you company, you understand, and you have something to do, you'll be okay. Because it's better to have a peace of mind, to be a peace of heart. You know what I mean? Than to have someone that's making you catch a heart attack. You know what I mean? And working on your nerving and giving you headaches. You don't need a headache up in your life. And there's another one that's called avoidant personality disorder. It's also called AVPD, a disorder characterized by social discomfort and avoidance of interpersonal contact. Someone who has avoidant personality disorder avoids intimate and social contact with others. People with this condition may be extremely shy, fear ridicule, and be overly concerned with looking foolish. Talk therapy is the main treatment. Drugs, including antidepressants, may help some symptoms. A lot of people out there are asking, what is the disease of isolation? It's called social isolation, has been linked to mental illnesses, emotional distress. Some people experience suicide, the development of dementia, premature death, or poor health behaviors like smoking, physical inactivity, and poor sleep, as well as biological effects, including high blood pressure and impaired immune function. A lot of people up in this world suffer from oppression, or it's a prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control, you know. And it's a very painful, you know, it gives you mental pressure or distress. You know, what is an example of oppression? Oppression is the unjust use of power and authority to limit the freedom and opportunities of a group of people. Example of oppression include racism, like I was telling you earlier, the mistreatment of a racial or ethnic group. You know, the Holocaust is an example of religious persecution, you know. So the best thing you can do is to pray to God. You have to have a book, you know what I mean, on prayers, you know, and you have to have the prayer that destroy oppression. You have to say, I rebuke and cast out any spirit that would attempt to oppress me in the name of Jesus. Jesus, you went about doing good and healing all those oppressed of the devil. I strip all power from spirits that would oppress me. I rebuke and cast out all spirits of poverty that would oppress me. I rebuke all spirits of madness and confusion that would attempt to oppress my mind in the name of Jesus. O Lord, undertake for me against all my oppressors. Lord, you are my refuge from the oppressor. Deliver me from the wicked that would oppress me and from my deadly enemies that would surround me. Deliver me from oppressors that seek after my soul. Break in pieces the oppressor. I rebuke and cast out all spirit of affliction, sorrow, and anything attempting to bring me low in the name of Jesus. Leave me not to my oppressors. Let not the proud oppress me. Deliver me from the oppression of mankind. I rule over my oppressors. Let the oppressors be consumed out of the land. I rebuke the voice of the oppressor in the name of Jesus. I am established in righteousness, and I am far from oppression. Punish those who attempt to oppress me. The enemy will not take my inheritance through oppression. Execute judgment against my oppression. Understand? You have to say, execute judgment against my oppressors. You have to say prayers like breaking the power of schizophrenia and double-mindedness. Say, I bind and rebuke every spirit that would attempt to distort, disturb, and disintegrate the development of my personality in the name of Jesus. I break all curses of schizophrenia and double-mindedness on my family in the name of Jesus. I bind and rebuke the spirit of double-mindedness in the name of Jesus. I bind and take authority over the strong men of rejection and rebellion and separate them in the name of Jesus. I bind and cast out the spirits of rejection, fear of rejection, and self-rejection in the name of Jesus. I bind and cast out all spirits of lust, fantasy, lust, harlotry, and perverseness in the name of Jesus. I bind and cast out all spirits of insecurity and inferiority in the name of Jesus. I bind and cast out all spirits of self-accusation and compulsive confession in the name of Jesus. I bind and cast out all spirits of fear, of judgment, self-pity, false compassion, and false responsibility in the name of Jesus. I bind and cast out all spirits of depression, despondency, despair, discouragement, and hopelessness in the name of Jesus. All spirits of hatred, resentment, violence, murder, unforgiveness, anger, and retaliation in the name of Jesus. I bind and cast out spirits of paranoia, suspicion, distrust, persecution, confrontation, and fear in the name of Jesus. You guys have a beautiful one.